All right, guys, welcome to Worldwide Sports Fan Smack Talk. This is the platform where we're going to give fans, and fans deserve to be more involved with sports than just being on. It's like fans should be more involved in sports and not just be on the outside like they don't have a voice. Worldwide Sports Fan Smack Talk. What we're doing is we're creating a platform where the fans can interact with each other. They can talk smack to each other, positive smack. Smack talk that's going to lead up to positive outcomes, not like non-positive outcomes. Because fans do talk smack to each other, like Lakers fans. Whoever played the Lakers, fake Lakers fans talk smack to any other. If you're a Clipper fan in LA, Lakers fans don't talk smack to Clipper fans until Clippers start winning and Lakers are losing. But you know, like I'm a Chiefs fan. I never was a Chiefs fan. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, but Patrick Mahomes made me a Chiefs fan, and Kelsey and all those guys, and I like when they had Kareem Hunt. But now this young guy Pachinko, is that his name? Pachinko, yeah. Yeah, this guy's great. Chiefs work out that contract, keep him. Tony, number 19, Scatlin. They got some guys in the draft. There's a guy who's on the roster. He's been kind of developing, healed himself, and I heard he had the fastest 40-yard dash. I mean, and they say he's faster than Tyreek Hill, and so he's been developing and getting better over the last 2 years. So blessings to him. I hope he's a part of the Chiefs attack this coming year. And one of the things I like to say to the owners, and this is some of the things that fans will be able to say. They could be more involved, not only just talking smack to each other and being able to upload videos and talk smack and say, hey, yeah, check out this play. Yeah, we put it on you guys, blah, blah, blah. You know, like as Bengals fans are talking smack to Chiefs fans can go upload videos and or link and just send them a link, you know, on their page. And then the other Bengals fan will have a page on the platform, and they can send a video like of last year when they won the championship. But then the Chiefs fans can say, well, look what we did in this championship. So fans would be able to really be active. Also, fans would be able to be active in talking to the owners of the team, the GMs, the presidents and vice presidents, and coaches, also players. Okay? Like right now, I was going to ask, why did they let go the Shark, the Chiefs, Frank Clark? I mean, because that guy can get in the backfield. And now they have to pick up somebody else who hopefully can play as well as him with Jones. Fans will be able to ask the GM, why you let this guy walk? Here are two other good examples. Chicago Bears, some years back, they brought Julius Peppers into their camp. But they had a guy named Maguglie, who was a top sack leader in the NFL. He was coming off the left side. And when they brought over Julius Peppers, they put Julius Peppers on the right. So I was like, oh man, the Bears gonna they're gonna light up the league with Maguglie and Julius Peppers. And come on, owners, stop being knuckleheads. I'm gonna call you knuckleheads. This is Worldwide Sports Fan Smack Talks. I'm talking smack right now to the owners. Chicago Bears GM George McCaskey, that was dumb letting go of Maguglie. That was dumb. I mean, Maguglie was, so what, he's 34. Let the guy play until he's 40. Then when he can't play at that level, then you let him go. Just because a guy's 34 and 35, and he's like number one sack guy, why you gonna let him go? Because he's 34 and 35, now you just cut him and don't even sign him, and no one else pick him up? So then now what happened was Julius Pepper had all that pressure on him, and he didn't have Maguglie coming off the left. Then the Bears did it again. They turned around and brought Khalil Mack over. They had a guy named Willie Young, who's a top sack master. He was like, he would do a little fishing thing. And then I was like, oh man, the Bears defense is going to be top notch. They got Willie Young coming off this side and Khalil Mack. And they had some other guys too, Lloyd, you know. And I was like, man, all of a sudden, Khalil Mack get here, and then they just cut Willie Young. Just cut him. Chicago Bears organization, how many stupid decisions can you make? I'm not even going to look for a better word. This guy, Willie Young, you don't have to pay him that much. He's playing like an all-pro linebacker. Why would you cut him? And you got Khalil Mack coming. He's going to be excited, man. I'm playing with Khalil Mack. Those guys would have been competing. Who's going to get the quarterback?
No.
And I'm going to let him say something. So fans will have pages to talk smack to other fans. But fans will also be able to talk smack to GMs, presidents, vice presidents, owners, and coaches. I'm going to let Aaron, say something, but I'm gonna show you an example of how fans can interact. When Pete Carroll put that dumb play in for the Seahawks when they were ready to win the Super Bowl, when you had Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, fans have a right to ask Pete Carroll, why'd you make that call? They buying the tickets. They have a right to say that. No fan could ask Pete Carroll anything. No, you have to respond, Pete Carroll. We're going to make sure that the owners, the GMs, presidents, vice presidents, coaches, and even players, even athletes have pages so that they can respond to you. Okay? So with that said, we're going to let Aaron say something.
No, I was just going to refer to just the nature of free agency and salary cap. That's where sometimes those tough decisions come in. But yeah, like he was saying, as far as just like fans that may have a question about that, or at least want to have their voice heard with management and ownership and all that of their teams. This does create that platform where, it creates some accountability, outside of just the staff.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you said, I know free agency jacked up the NFL. Let's say it. I mean, for the players, I'm always respectful of players getting their top money, but not to the point where you bouncing all over the league and you really can't put a team together and know what your team going to look like, because you got an agent whispering to the guy, oh, you can get this much money. And the agents, we don't even see these guys. But then you see players bouncing around. It's hard to establish good teams. You have to be very clever and be able to put a team together in 3 years and win real quick, because after 3 years, a player becomes a superstar. Man, the agent's going to start talking, and next thing you know, someone else getting a big contract. And that hurts the team. Now, I don't care. George McCaskey, owners of any football team, basketball team, presidents, vice presidents. I mean, okay, now here's another good example. Now I'm a fan. I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. I love the Warriors. So I'm kind of representing two things here. I'm representing the Warriors, and I represent 23, Michael Jordan. Now I know there's another guy that wore 23 for the Warriors, but 23 for me is MJ. All right? That's 23 for me. So I got my favorite player and my current favorite team. Now, Golden State Warriors, Maguire, the great master, you dropped the ball, homeboy. I'm calling you out. I'm talking smack. That's what this platform is about. Fans have a right to talk smack to GMs when they drop the ball. Maguire, let me tell you where you dropped the ball. You went into the playoffs with no big man. Looney is not a big man. Looney is a power forward. That's why you're sitting back right now watching the Lakers play Denver. You should have known, man, even Sacramento have a big guy. I'm talking to you right now, Maguire, Mr. Smart Guy. Yeah, I'm talking smack. A guy like you who made all these wise decisions, but maybe it was Jerry West making the wise decisions, and you were getting the credit for it. But you got your team sitting at home because you didn't do your job in the front office. I got a right to say this as a fan. Why in the last 25 games did you not contract Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, or DeAndre Jordan to get ready for the playoffs? Because you can see Denver with a big guy who's back-to-back MVP. Anthony Davis is a beast in the middle. And you went into the playoffs with no answer for those two guys. And that's how you lost. You lost because you had no answer for Anthony Davis. And Maguire and anybody else in that front office. Golden State Warriors, hear this. You guys didn't lose the series because you didn't play well. You lost the series because you went into the playoffs without a big man. Looney is not a big man. Looney is a power forward, and he does a great job as a power forward. But Looney needs to play side a big center, a 7-foot guy. So, Golden State Warriors, I'm telling you now, get busy and get a big man, because if you don't, you're going to get smacked out the playoff again next year. Get busy and get a big man. Man, look at the playoffs right now. The big men are playing well. Last night, Denver and Lakers played. Anthony Davis had 40 points. Jokic had 36. Either one of those teams going to outplay Looney. I mean, either one of those players, well, Anthony Davis already did it. But it's not because Looney's not a good player, because Anthony Davis outsizing him. Now, Maguire, you hear me? You want to hit me up on my show? Call me up. But I'm telling you right now, don't call me up saying not to talk smack until you get your job right. Because you should have got Dwight Howard out of China. You should have got Dwight Howard out of China, and you should have pulled in JaVale McGee. He's not being used. The last 20 games, even if it was 20 games, not 25, you should have been getting your big man ready so they can start blending in with your team. Right now, Golden State Warriors probably be playing Denver. Heck, you got a big man in the center. And Dwight Howard is a perfect guy. I just saw a picture of Dwight Howard. This guy's excellent shape. And he runs. He scored 80 points over there, man, just not too long ago. 80 points. Okay, that guy can score. 80 points. Now, you can't tell me Dwight Howard couldn't help you guys in the middle. Anthony Davis would not have bullied. He would not have been bullying Dwight Howard down low. You all lost that game because you didn't have a big man, and that is the front office. The front office lost that series. Now, there were some times when Clay was cold, and Golden State. I'm gonna say it was a couple of games where you guys was rushing your shots down the stretch, laying the ball up trying to lay the ball too fast. You weren't getting a really good, comfortable look that I'm used to seeing Klay Thompson getting Steph Curry. But that was like secondary to not having a big man. So this is what Worldwide Sports Fan Smack Talk is setting up. Is that fans will be able to call out guys like McGuire. Why did you go into the playoff with a big man? Why didn't you close out the regular season with a big man? Getting prepared for the playoffs so that when you face the Lakers and Denver, you have a guy in the middle that can compete and battle with Jokic and Anthony Davis. Instead of having an undersized guy like Looney, who's really a power forward, dealing with this big powerhouse Anthony Davis or Jokic. That was unfair. Now, on the offseason, fix that. Fix that. Go get Dwight Howard. He's waiting to come back. And Dwight Howard's at the right age. He can roll with these guys. Dwight Howard can roll with them. Right age, man. And great shape. And then go get JaVale McGee. Bring both of them in. They're not requesting a lot of money. You can even, you got a choice. You got to get Dwight Howard, number one. Bring him in with JaVale McGee, or here's the deal. Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, or Dwight Howard and what's his name?
DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan. Those, you got two combinations. And the reason why I'm saying bring two of them, because when Dwight Howard is getting tired, don't try to play those guys the whole game. So when Dwight Howard is tired, you could bring in JaVale McGee or DeAndre Jordan. You could just do that the whole game. Like, give each one of those guys a half a quarter. Dwight Howard starts out. When he gets a half a quarter, he gets a little tired. Bring in JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard, whoever you package these centers. You got to bring two in. I'm going to even say this. I would go with the more experienced guys than they got Ayton, who's trying to get out of Suns, because Ayton toughness has to be proven.
So you don't feel like he's ready for Golden State championship runs?
Golden State needs somebody that's going to be really ready right now, because somebody's going to kind of match the age of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. These guys are not young. I mean, these guys are not, they're not like way past their prime. They're just, okay, so if they prime, you know, you say you peak into your prime, right? Right. And then Golden State is like this. They just got over that peak. So they kind of going down now, but they still at the top. Right. Well, Dwight Howard fits right in there. Where Ayton is like before they peaked. They don't need to spend a season or two getting him ready. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because Jokic already got confidence he can work him out. Right. And I know AD can work him out. But when you get Dwight Howard in there, DeAndre Jordan, right. And JaVale McGee, those
are athletic big bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Anthony Davis and Jokic's not going to feel like, man, I can just go in there and dominate Dwight Howard. I can go in there and dominate JaVale McGee. I can go in there and dominate DeAndre. They're going to still do their job, but they won't have that confidence. But like Ayton, I believe they'll be like, man, let's work this young boy out.
And then they have the the lateral movement to be able to hang with
guys
down on the perimeter too.
That's right. And two of these guys are champions now. Remember, JaVale McGee won a championship with Golden State too, right?
Yes, he did.
And then he won one with the Lakers.
Yeah, I was right. So
right? Yeah. And so did Dwight Howard. He won one with the Lakers, right?
Dwight Howard for sure won with the Lakers.
Right, and for sure even JaVale McGee. Dwight Howard, I mean, the Lakers had 4 centers. Yeah. Okay, so these guys know how to win championships. You already know JaVale McGee. You know his record. He's been in your camp. He won 2 rings with you all, maybe even 3. So what I'm saying is, bring him over with Dwight Howard. How could you lose? You can only win. And their age range is perfect. Ayton, I would not go after because you don't know. And Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and the rest of those guys, they're at that point where the big guys that come in, they have to know their job. Because these guys, you don't want to slow them down trying to get a big man ready. Now, one more thing I'm going to say, acquisition. You get Dwight Howard. He's ready to come back. He's over in China, lighten I am up, okay? But bring him over with JaVale McGee or DeAndre Jordan. These guys are sitting around. You can easily get them. It's not, you don't have to pay a whole lot of money. Not that I'm saying pay them peanuts, but you don't have to pay a lot of money. Now, one more guy that you all should be talking to. And I'm going to talk to him right now. I'm going to say this to him. There's a guy on the East Coast. He played on the West. He won scoring champions. Is that what scoring championship?
Scoring titles, yeah.
Scoring titles. And this guy is pure talent. I watched him play, and this guy scores with ease. I mean, he glides, but he's just a machine. He goes to Brooklyn. Things don't work out in Brooklyn. He just walks away from that situation. Okay? Then he goes to Philly. They go into the first playoff game against Boston. He lights them up. But then now, when Embiid comes back, he pulls back to try to get Embiid assimilated with what they're doing, and it didn't work out.
Yeah,
now
lost 2 games in a row.
They lost 2 in a row, trying to get Embiid back.
Down 2-1.
Right, and so now this guy's on the move again. Now I've seen some battles with Houston and Golden State. But I don't believe there's a character issue with players not liking James Harden if he came to Golden State. I don't believe there's any players like, no, we don't want him here because he pissed us off when he's in Houston, because I don't recall James Harden talking smack to Houston,
right.
To Golden State, to the point where the players would be uncomfortable sending him in the locker room.
So it's not like the Chris Paul situation.
Yeah, like Chris Paul, I can see Golden State saying, no, we're not going to get Chris Paul, because it was like a personal thing. But if Golden State can get these 3 players, you can work James Harden. Now, James Harden, listen to this. You can stay on the East Coast and play for Miami. And that's a team, if you go to Miami, you're going to be with a team that can get to the championship. Listen to this again, James Harden. If you go to Miami, which is a good team, a good choice on the East Coast, you're going to add yourself to a team that can go to the championship, and your presence make that can even more. But if you come to Golden State, you're adding yourself to a team that wins championships. With you coming over being the 2 guard, Klay the 3, we got Dwight Howard switching off with JaVale McGee in the center, right? And we got Draymond.
Right, yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Is that 5 players? So you have Steph Curry, James Harden, Klay Thompson. That's 3. Right. And then you got Dwight Howard at center and Draymond Green.
Yeah, that'd be
boom. And then Looney comes in for Draymond, right?
Yeah.
And then JaVale McGee comes in for Dwight Howard or DeAndre Jordan. So you got JaVale McGee switching off with Dwight Howard if you get JaVale McGee. Or if you decide to get Dwight Howard, you got Dwight Howard switching. You got to get Dwight Howard. And if you decide to get DeAndre Jordan, you got DeAndre Jordan switching off for Dwight Howard. Boom. And then so you got Steph Curry, James Harden, Klay Thompson, Dwight Howard in the middle, Draymond Green. You guys are back in the championship as champions. Now, McGuire, I'll just help you out. Get busy. Get busy, man. If you don't do that, you ain't doing your job right. I'm telling you right now. You put your team at a disadvantage to be knocked out again next year. You can work out a deal with James Harden. I guarantee you can. And you can get Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee back in your camp, or Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan. I just help you out. McGuire, get busy. If you don't do that, you ain't doing your job. You setting your team up to fail again. Because Anthony Davis ain't going to slow down. And Big Jokic is not going to slow down. And somebody may grab Ayton. Maybe it may be Sacramento. It's gonna be, and you all had problem with Sacramento because you had no big man. Even that team was kind of going through you all with Sabonis. You had no guy to match up to him. Your problem is you don't have a big man. That's your problem. As they would say, a no-brainer. Fix that.
No, what do you feel? The Lillard is on the move too, and
No,
he may go to Philly. So
well, let Lillard go to Philly. Lillard, to me, I'm not gonna make any comments. I'm not gonna, he's a great.
It's smack talk. It's smack talk. So
He's a good player, but I would suggest that Golden State go anywhere near him because they already got Steph Curry. But like as far as like where he can fit in,
like, do you feel wherever he goes, potentially the championship goes? Because that might.
Wherever Lillard goes, he makes the team better.
Like
he don't make up a champion.
If he went to Philly or if he went to Phoenix, or even he can go to Miami.
If Lillard went to Phoenix would be they'll have a more reliable point guard. Chris Paul, blessings to you, brother, but you just don't stick around long enough. There's always something going on where you can't stay on the court. Now you have explosive talent, but
every basketball IQ.
I put it to you like this: as a basketball player, Chris Paul is top notch, but as a basketball player that can stay healthy so you can use his talent, he's not. Keep my eye real. I wish his career wasn't like that. I really do.
Durability would be the only issue.
His durability, man. I mean,
That's a big issue.
Yeah, and you can always hope that he's gonna be okay, but then if you look at Chris Paul's career, it's always been an issue where he can't finish up the playoffs, and so I just believe Chris Paul should be a guy that you say, well, he's coming off the bench, because if you're using him as a reserve guy, he could probably last longer. But if you have him as a starter, then your backup guy have to be the starter now.
Yeah, and I believe Phoenix window with Chris Paul winning, that part has closed. But with KD and Booker on the roster, to me, they're only one explosive point guard away. Rather, is James Harden in Phoenix as well, or Damian Lillard?
Yeah,
James Harden, I think, is a better fit.
Yeah, but if I was James Harden, I wouldn't go to James Harden. Needs to go to a team that's a championship team. Now, it's 3 teams that James Harden can win a championship with. I'm not talking about make the team better. Okay, what you're saying is that James Harden can go to Phoenix, and then we see all these possibilities of Phoenix being better. Okay, that's cool. I see that. But it doesn't mean that they're going to get by Denver, the Lakers, or a good Golden State team.
And speaking of Denver and Lakers, I see we only have like 7 to 8 minutes left. I don't know if you want to touch on the game.
How'd you know it's that much time?
I have a timer.
Oh, cool. Oh, I like that. Okay, so let's touch on that game a little bit. And then I'm going to talk about something. We got 7 to 8 minutes?
7 to 8 minutes. So I'm going to start it off. We all know Denver won game 1. And being in LA, a lot of Laker fans I came across really felt that game slipped, because they did take a 21-point deficit down to 3 points. And it came down to a few possessions where the Lakers potentially could have stole game 1. And for them, they take 1 out of those 2 games in Denver. And many Laker fans believe they take the 2 games in LA. It's a potential 3-1 series. But I know some other people outside of Laker fans feel otherwise. So,
well, Lakers fans to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk smack right now. And Lakers fans, you gotta hit me up in the comments. You guys are a little too far with your ideas about the Lakers. Like, if the Lakers disappeared on the court, you guys be like, they're not gone. They're still there. And they disappeared. You guys don't look at reality. You always believe the Lakers have something to do with the game if they don't win. We let it go. How about the other team being better than you in that game and beating you guys? So here's the deal.
No, when it came to Austin Reeves, some of those cut streets,
all that,
stretch.
But you gotta remember this. Okay, here's what happened. Denver led the game most of the way through, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, for about 3.5
all right,
quarters.
Lakers is a good team. They are a good team. One thing I'm gonna say about the Lakers, especially with LeBron leading them, and even when Kobe was there, and even when Magic was there, you're not gonna be less than your best and beat them. I don't care which era. If you look at the Lakers, you're not gonna be less than your best and beat them. That's how that team is just the organization that knows how to win. But here's the thing: the fans have gotten so spoiled to seeing the Lakers win that they don't look at reality. They'll say, "Oh, we let that game get away." Well, Denver led the game the whole way. If anybody was going to let that game get away, it was Denver. Denver let the game get away for 5 minutes, and the Lakers got close and closed the gap. Maybe even, let's say 8 minutes, 10 minutes. Denver was the team that was letting the game get away, but Denver was able to, because of how good they are, they were able to gather themselves and close the game out. It wasn't like the Lakers let the game get away. The game was already gotten away for the Lakers the whole way through. Let's keep this real. The game was already gotten away from them. The only team that was letting the game get away from them was Denver. They had to lead the whole game. Lake only led one time in the first quarter by 2 points. After the rest of the league, way through, Denver dominated the game. And then Denver started letting the game get away down the stretch. But because they're a good team, they didn't close out well. And then what's the other thing? Denver's coach, if a guy has a clean layup, don't yell, run the timeout. Let him lay the ball up to get a three-point play. That didn't make no sense. I was like, this guy can cut right to the basket. He stopped.
Now, what about,
and I know that was a coaching call because a player wouldn't do that. Players' instincts, man, they see a good drive to the hoop, they gone.
Yeah.
So that guy to stop himself, talking about, let me watch the clock.
Bruce Brown.
Yeah, so the coach did that. I already know that. Coach, let the guy go in and close out and get a three-point play.
Now, AD, he had 40 and 10. That's a
40
very
10.
big game.
How much time?
We still have a good 3 minutes left.
Okay, good. Okay, go ahead. Make that comment.
So AD had his 40 and 10. However, Jokic did kill him on the boards. We're talking Jokic had 34, 21, 12 assists, so triple-double. Another triple-double. And very efficient, but he did disappear the last...
Yeah.
Pretty much
during that run. During that Lakers run. He disappeared.
And that's when AD got more of those points, especially, I wouldn't even say garbage time, but in the first half, it was more Jokic.
Yeah, and AD got some more points during the Lakers run. And that wasn't garbage time. That was like, it was garbage time for Denver.
Right.
It was garbage time for Denver, but the Lakers was putting the heat. They was closing the gap. But Denver, now here's the thing. I seen Golden State fall apart under that pressure from the Lakers. Denver was able to hold their composure and close that game out and victoriously. So we have to look at that. They lost focus. They got complacent. And the coach can't let that happen next time because this is going to be a dogfight for game two.
Yeah, and speaking of game two, from what I've seen and just some of the Laker fans I hear, some of their comments and other people's opinions on how Lakers probably could fare better in game two is if AD were to kind of even that battle up on the boards with Jokic, because I would say so too. Jokic doubled him up on the boards, maybe not focus on scoring as much. And focus a little bit more on the defensive side and the rebounding side. But how do you feel about that? If AD were to try to, in Golden State, he was coming out of that series pretty much averaging 17 boards a game.
Yeah, because Golden State had nobody in the middle. That's why I said Golden State, Maguire dropped the ball on Golden State. He set them up to fail by sending them into the playoffs with no real big man.
Right.
That's the front office. Those players played with what the front office gave them.
Right.
The front office gave that team what they had. Yeah. So Steph Curry and all those guys, now you guys, Steph Curry and you guys, you can't be having no game where you smack them up by 20 points and then all of a sudden you lose by 5 and 10 the next game. You got to keep your focus. Choke them out by 20, choke them out by 25 the next game or 30. Okay? Don't lose your fire. Now, but that could have happened if they had Dwight Howard in the middle.
Right.
Had they had JaVale McGee relieving Dwight Howard or DeAndre Jordan relieving Dwight Howard. You see? So Golden State lost because Maguire and everybody in front office set them up to fail by sending them into the playoffs with no big man. How much time?
We have about final 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, so that's the thing. Golden State, you got Maguire and everybody in front office got your work to do. You got a great team over there that you just need to add. Please get Dwight Howard. Please get him. The Lakers have no answer for that guy. And then make sure you bring him in with a relieving center, because because Dwight Howard is like 35, and like 37, whatever. So bring a center that he can switch out with. That way you got three good years with Dwight Howard, 3 good 4 years with Dwight Howard, and then work out that deal with James Harden, because James Harden's ready to win a championship. Man, if you get James Harden, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, James Harden, Dwight Howard, or DeAndre Jordan, Golden State, you're in the championship again as winners for sure.
And that would be next year. But any closing thoughts in this last minute before game two tomorrow?
Okay, for game two tomorrow, how much time?
We got a minute. It's enough for a closing thought.
Okay, so here's my closing ideas for game two. Denver, you can do what you did in game one. You can lead the whole way through. Stay focused. Don't lose focus. And coach, if you see the Lakers start pushing and getting the run, don't let them score 12 and 15 points. As soon as you see your team being a little bit complacent, misfocused, and the Lakers get 2 or 3 buckets in a row, maybe 3, call a timeout. Interrupt that energy right away. Don't let the Lakers eat 15 points into your lead, then you call a timeout.
And real quick, just we got to squeeze this last thing in there. You might not be able to have opinions on this video, But maybe you all can leave your comments on what you feel the predictions would be between Miami and Boston tonight.
Way to go. Hey, one more thing. Nike, check this out. We're where you guys were back in the 70s when your Converse was very hot. Okay? And then you talked to Magic Johnson. Make sure you give Magic Johnson a call because he dropped the ball. He was like, oh man, Converse is hot. Dr. J's, him and Larry Bird. And he turned down a deal with Nike. And today Nike is big and Converse is pretty much in oblivion. So Nike, we are where you all were years ago. Worldwide Sports Fan Smack Talk. So what I'm doing, I'm holding up a Nike shoe right here. This is a Nike shoe. And I'm saying, come aboard and be a sponsor to Worldwide Sports Fan Smack Talk. As we grow, you grow with us. And you can be a part of this dynasty because we're going to make this thing big. And we'd like to have Nike a part of us. So we welcome you aboard, Nike. But are you going to be like Converse? Are you going to be like Magic and go, I don't know. They too small. I don't even know who they are. Or are you going to go back and say, I remember when I was like that. We got a little bit more time, Aaron.
Our next video on Friday.
Next
video on Friday will be touching on the results of the Miami and Boston series for Game 1.
Yes.
So since that game is tonight, we'll be opening up to our next video with analysis on how the Game 1 went.
Okay, so
I'm going Boston in Game 1.
You going Boston in Game 1? Where they playing?
They're playing in Boston. First 2 games.
I haven't watched Miami enough to make a call. I know Boston's very good. I know Jimmy Buckets is very good.
Tatum had 51 points in the closeout game against Philly. Just broke Steph Curry's record
by 1 point.
By 1 point.
By 1 point. And this is the first time that a closeout game, 7th game, where someone scored 50 points, and then all of a sudden, man, just 2 weeks